Game Chat with Bwana, episode 55 coming right up.
Welcome to Game Chat with Bwana, your source for gaming news and reviews. Now, here's Bwana McCall.
This is Game Chat with Bwana. Game Chat with Bwana Game Chat with Bwana episode 55 coming at you live. This is at live.bwana.tv. This is at live.bwana.tv and at twitch.tv/Bwana. I want to thank everybody for coming by tonight. I am kind of still waking up. Daddy took a long nap and Daddy slept kind of long. So Daddy's still kind of asleep over here. It's Game Chat with Bwana, the postponed edition. We were trying to do this show on Monday, but we couldn't, so we had to postpone it. Today is actually Thursday, April 19th, 2012, and rather than do what I usually do when I cancel a show is just don't do a show at all, I said, okay, let me find the next time that I'm available at the 6 p.m. time frame to do the show, and Thursday was the answer, and here I am, the Game Chat Bwana, episode 55. And what we do here at Game Chat 1 is that we talk about the latest news, the last 7 days. And this particular time, we got more than 7 days. We got more like 10, 12 days almost a full 2 weeks worth of stories. But it was a little bit dry. But we found a few stories. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to augment my stories. You augmenters, you. By going to our forums at bwana.tv/forums. You guys post stories that I don't already find. And we talk about those towards the end of the show. And then after that, we have title time. Title time is when you guys pick a snazzy title for the show. And then we go on with that thing right there with title time. We have a lot of fun here at Game Chat 1. And we kind of just wing it. I just pick stories, kind of read them. And then we just go with it. There's no script. Although the format kind of evolved into itself as to what it is right now. And yeah, we're going to be doing that right there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Game Chat with Bwana would not be possible without the support of our corporate partners. Twitch TV, Wirecast, YouTube, and 123 Systems. Thank you all for your support of Game Chat with Bwana.
Okay. For our very first and most depressing story of the night, might as well start it off with a little bit of just like doom and gloom, right? There's no sense in being happy here at Game Chat with Happy. Sony confirms jobs cuts. Them cuts of jobs and restructuring plans. Wow. Yeah, Sony has confirmed an ongoing rumor that's been going on for a while by a Japanese newspaper, Nikkei, N-I-K-K-E-I. They reported that Sony was going to have some cuts. And it was confirmed by Sony CEO Kaz Hirai, who made an announcement at a press conference on April 12th that Sony will change. And they're planning to take a 10,000 person cut. They will cut 10,000 employees, or 6% of their global workforce. That is kind of big. But if you look at the numbers, Sony, they announced that they expected a loss of about $6.4 billion for the fiscal year that ended in March. 6.4 billion is what they lost. And Sony hasn't exactly been making money. They've been on a kind of a, they've been in the red, if you will. Speaking in accounting terms, they've been in the red for a very, very long time, and it doesn't look like they're going to get their way out of the red without making any cuts. So 6% of the workforce, of the global workforce, and this is the thing that got me. They're going to cut their TV operations by 40%. Now, we think about Sony, we think about video games, but when you look at that number, it looks like they're chopping a lot of dead weight. When's the last time anybody here bought a Sony TV? Me, it was 19. No, it was actually, yeah, it was 1999. 1999. I still have it. Works great. And it was one of the one of the things I liked most about Sony and their products and TVs and their stereos and their receivers and stuff. They were pretty much indestructible. I was a big Sony guy when I was coming out of college and stuff. I bought a lot of Sony electronics, their stereos and stuff. They just all lasted a long time. And my TV is a testament to that. So they're gonna take a 40% cut of their TV operations. So, I mean, that's huge. That's a big giant. That's almost half of that entire operation. So, while we want to blame it on video games and the Vita and all the other things, the TV sector has proven to be a drain on the rest of the company's operations. Now, the video game division hasn't been making money as well, so that it's not like we can say, oh, if it weren't for the TV, folks, we wouldn't be in this predicament. No, it's nowhere near that. But still, the TV group of Sony is really hurting them. So, Sony's got some work to do. Under new CEO, Kaz Hirai, Ridge Racer, that's him. And I don't know if they're going to be able to fully recover. I think this cut is a step in the right direction. But I think a lot of other things that Sony need to change before they actually, earn the trust back of their consumers. If you think back at what happened, the PSN, debacle, the hack, and, the some of the missteps with the PlayStation 3, such as taking out backwards compatibility. Sony's been, chipping at their customer trust for quite a while. Diehard Sony fans are even, doubting Sony in some cases because, sometimes they just keep making mistakes, and they do good things, but at the same time they're chipping away at that trust. So, because clients and customers are having a hard time trusting them, especially when they came out with things like UMD and their insanely high price memory and memory storage and stuff. Customers really are looking other ways and looking at other companies. So Sony's got to change a little bit how they think and a little bit how they operate before they come out of this hole completely. That's my opinion. But the hard numbers say they're going to be cutting 10,000 jobs worldwide in order to meet this huge profit loss. Check it out, guys. This is over on GamePolitics.com. They got the details. So while we're in the doom and gloom, dead everything and rotten apples and nasty cake, ooh, just a horrible thing to think about. U.S. video game sales have dropped 25% in March, according to the NPD. Now, when I hear these numbers, I immediately get skeptical. I immediately say, well, where's the source? Who's getting these numbers, and how are they getting them? So when I looked at this, I was kind of okay. I was kind of in agreement because they're kind of primarily focusing on the console market. They're focusing on Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. And one of the things they note in this article is that they are they're saying that the PS Vita didn't bring the gaming market out of a slump like it was supposed to. Apparently, Mass Effect 3 was a top seller in the month of March, and the only PlayStation Vita game that was in the top 10 was MLB 12, this show. So yeah, they're talking about Microsoft numbers and Xbox 360 and the hardware industry, and Michael Pachter starts talking. So nowhere in here they're talking about PC gaming. So when they say U.S. video game sales drop, I think it should say U.S. console, because this is, they mention video game hardware, software, and accessories, but we've been talking about on previous Game Chat episodes and like the past 2 or 3 where PC gaming sales have been through the roof and been breaking records, and it's been a great year for a lot of folks. So check this out, guys. This is over on Feist.org. I don't think it's indicative of the entire gaming market. I think the console market is just in a slump. A lot of consumers are getting to that point where they're waiting on the next big thing. Most people who are going to buy a console already have one or are happy with what they have. Even some console gamers are moving to PC gaming as they grow older. They get more money. They may get a job. They may get to school, and they may get into PC gaming. So you know, you gotta keep your gamers where you you know, where you want them to be. And if you think about what the games that's come out for consoles this year, hasn't been a whole lot. They mentioned Mass Effect 3. It's you know, it's hard to blame it on a select few titles. So I don't want to say, well, Mass Effect 3 was the only good title, blah 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 blah. But when you look at the title selective, or the title selection for the entire year 2012, so far, it's been kind of weak for consoles, kind of weak. And then when I say weak, I mean like big blockbuster titles. They usually don't hit generally until like spring, which is now. We're gonna have some titles coming out, and in the holiday season. So this article mentions a couple, that Max Payne 3, Diablo 3, and Ghost Recon Future Soldier. They mentioned Diablo 3, which kind of perplexed me. It doesn't fit in with the rest of the article, but I don't know. It's not coming to consoles. So check this out, guys. This is over on Feist.org. They got the details over there. Now, while we're talking about gaming news and gaming sales, this Legend of Grimrock title really wasn't affected by this slump. At least not this month. Legend of Grimrock has already made back their development costs many times over. And this is the story of a lot of independent game developers now. A lot of these guys have these small shops, don't have a lot of overhead. You know, they just run things out of their garage, if you will. And they make a ton of money. And it's enough to sustain them. It's enough to create more and more titles. And this is about Almost Human Games, this Finnish studio. Legend of Grimrock is a very, very, very old school style RPG. It reminds me of the days of Myst and, you know, really, really old RPGs, and really harsh. Myst made you want to just go to sleep. It just made you just want to stop playing video games and just, you know, turn it off and sit in the corner and cry, because you get all the way to a certain point and die and have to start over. You're like, it ain't fair. It ain't fair. Legend of Grimrock, I don't know if it's that harsh because I have not played it. It's getting a lot of positive critical acclaim. People are giving a lot of good feedback on forums and review scores. I don't have a big interest in it for some reason. I got this I don't know if it's not a disease, it's kind of a growth called too many games. And I've kind of gotten my handful of games established, and the handful of games that I'm going to buy. So when a new title hits the horizon, or, you know, something comes across the radar that I may want to get, I go, well, let me balance, see how much time I have. Because I got MMOs I'm about to play. I got Path of Exile. I got Tribes of Sin. I got Blacklight Retribution. I got Minecraft. I got all these games taking up my time. So that's another thing that that these gaming developers have to contend with. The market is getting kind of saturated. You know, a lot of people are into MOBAs. The MOBAs take 100% of their time. They're into real-time strategy with StarCraft and those types of games. People are into shooters. And if you look at all these genres, there's at least 10 to 12 different choices. Well, maybe not in the MOBA. MOBA only has like 4 or 5 really good ones. But it's like so many choices, so many games, and if you are on a PC platform, you got the free-to-play market to contend with. So, you know, I'm thinking from my RPG side of my brain that, hey, Path of Exile is enough for me. I don't think I need to play Legend of Grimrock. Only so much time. Those of you in school, those of you who have jobs know what I'm talking about. You only have so much time to allot to these games, because they take a lot of time. RPGs are very time consuming. They suck you in, and, you know, especially if they have high replayability, you're going to be playing them over and 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 over again. So Legend of Grimrock, I'm happy for their success. I like to see small shops do well, because that's healthy for the gaming industry. Healthy for independent gaming, number one, but the gaming industry needs indie games bad. And indie games are starting to shine. And with projects out there coming from Kickstarter and stuff, we're only going to see these types of stories, you know, mature and grow much more often. It's going to be a higher percentage of these smaller game developing shops doing this. Now, the makers of Path of Exile, I can't remember the game studio. I'm so sorry. But, you know, they announced a couple weeks ago that they made $200,000 just based on donations. And that's amazing. I mean, the game's not even out yet. It's just in beta, Path of Exile. So check this out, guys. This is over on escapismagazine.com. They got the details about this particular title, Legend of Grimrock, turning a fast profit and making back its development costs many times over.
Game Chat with Bwana is recorded live before a worldwide audience every Monday night. You can participate by suggesting news stories. Just register an account in our forums at bwana.tv/forums.
Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. The Guild Wars 2 First Beta Weekend event is coming. As I hold my sword with my giant fur coat and look into the snow. Brace yourselves. It's coming, folks. Guild Wars 2 First Beta Weekend event has been announced. It's coming next weekend. April 27th. That is next weekend, right? Yeah. April 27th through April 29th. If you pre-purchase any edition of this game of Guild Wars 2, you'll be able to play in the first publicly available, well, I say publicly available beta, because it does require a pre-order and or a beta key. More details are going to be coming forth from their blog site, but you're going to be getting your first taste. Your first taste of the Guild Wars 2. This is an MMO that a lot of folks are looking forward to. Number one, they're doing a lot of things different. And this is kind of, it's a double-edged sword. They're doing a lot of things different. They're promising a different experience. It's going to be a revolutionary take on the MMO genre. The reason I say that's a double-edged sword is because, you know, they're taking a chance. They're taking a risk by doing this because it could fall flat on its face if it fails. Because they don't have the security of the traditional formula. But Guild Wars 2 is taking a chance. A lot of players are into this because there is no subscription fee. Those of us with little pennies in our pocket, not a lot of pennies, are happy to hear this because traditional MMOs do require some cash flow. Although those of us on the free-to-play train know that, you know, those days are almost gone. Very few new MMOs are coming out that require a subscription fee. So, I wish I could say Guild Wars 2 is, you know, hyped up just because of the lack of subscription fee, but it's not. I mean, it's got a lot more going for it. And if you haven't seen any gameplay, read anything about it, head over to twitch.tv next weekend. I do believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe the NDA is going to be lifted for this beta weekend. And if it is, then people will be streaming it on twitch.tv. I got to get final word on that. I'm not 100% sure that the NDA will be lifted. So you can check out some gameplay, see how what people think about it. You know, the idea of how things work in Guild Wars, the class system, and how they're redoing that, and just how the game works. So check it out, guys. This is over on MMOattack.com. They got the details about Guild Wars 2 First Beta Weekend event coming next weekend. Brace yourselves. Now, let's talk about that other MMO that I'm excited about called TERA. TERA has officially entered into open beta as of now, as of 3 hours ago, actually. And those of you who tried it, you may be interested in some of the new changes that are coming via player feedback, because a lot of times people play betas, they don't think the game's going to change at all. They always think that, well, when I play the beta, very little is going to be different from here to launch. And if you look at what NMAS has done with TERA, I gotta say I'm impressed. TERA has been out in Korea for quite a while, and they've got an established user base over there, and they've launched over here in North America, and they are really listening to what the players have to say. The first thing a lot of people complained about was the newbie island, how terrible it was, how gut-wrenching it was. So what they've done is that they've introduced a playable prologue. It's a whole new playable prologue. You basically are thrown into a fight of a big monster right from the start. You know, they're changing a lot of things about the first 20 levels as well. It's going to be a lot more bosses and greater quest variety. A lot of people were complaining that the quests were stale and, you know, go here, talk to this guy, you know, they're adding a little bit more variety. A polished experience. They're going to have better travel. I think players were complaining that the Pegasus travel system was taking too long. What they're doing is that they're eliminating the need to go through a major city and a lot of routes. More achievements. They're going to be adding more skills. They're going to be adding more skills to the game. So all the classes are at least getting one new skill. And like I said, this is all stuff that wasn't in the Korean version. Some bug fixes, and the NPC voices have been added. They included some top Hollywood actors, and I've seen some of the prologue stuff, and you could tell that they've added some better voices. They got rifts. No, not the game Rift, but rifts were added in TERA or Korean TERA as of I think the last big patch they had, and this will be in the open beta as well. They call it a nexus, and this is where monsters come through in waves, and you have to close the nexus. Very, very similar to the things we saw in Warhammer Online and that kind of stuff. Was it Warhammer? I think it was Warhammer. Extra power for every class. I talked about that. My class that I'm going to be playing, the Mystic, has got a totem, a warding totem that heals. It's an AoE heal. Yes. Happy. And the economy's been updated. They got a searchable trade broker. No penalty enchantment. A lot of the in-game people in TERA complain about you sink a lot of money into enchantment and you could lose stats. And it's kind of depressing. So what they did was they dumbed it down for us NAs, North Americans, and they said, well, you can't. There will be no penalty on your enchantments. They could only theoretically get better. And some other things. So, and they got the reputation system where you can get something that we talked about from these quests, earning reputations. You can get hats, and masks. Hats and masks. Change your appearance and let everyone know what you've accomplished from these quests. So I had no intention of doing reputation because, you know, I was like, yeah, the items might be all right. But then they said hats, and I was like, well, I got to do it. New and better dungeons have been added, so on and so forth. So there's been quite a bit of stuff added since they first began these closed betas in TERA. So again, come over to twitch.tv, check out some of the TERA streams so you can get a first-hand glimpse of what's new. I'm likely going to be streaming this tonight unless something changes. So the open beta does start today. These are the characters that are going to make it to the final release. So they're not going to wipe these characters. So people are actually taking it seriously, picking servers, picking classes, you know, not just fooling around. They're actually going to pretend like the game's out. And next weekend is when the Head Start begins. At the same time as Guild Wars 2. And release is May 1st. Man, the timing is impeccable. Don't you think? Check it out, guys. This is courtesy of TERA.nmass.com. They got the details over there about the new stuff that's come since the beta and the open beta that starts today.
Please support Game Chat with Bwana by turning off your ad blocking software.
Okay. Remember we talked about how 2012 has kind of been a weak year. It's been a weak year for blockbuster titles. Well, one big one's coming in November. And we all know that that other shooter, that other one, that shooter that cannot be named, usually releases around November as well. Halo 4 has got a release date, November 6, 2012. Ooh, it's It's going to be an interesting time. Now, those guys at Microsoft are smiling because this is how they make their year. Not really on system sales, but on software sales. They move so many units towards the end of the year. And we mainly attributed that to Call of Duty. I said it. I said the name which shall not be named in the name that's next to the name. Halo 4 launches worldwide. We showed some screenshots here in previous game chats, and it looked pretty impressive. It's not going to be made by Bungie. A lot of people do realize that this is the first non-Bungie Halo, so it's probably going to get a lot of like microscopic review. I feel sorry for these guys because they're going to get a lot more flack than anybody else, I think, because they're following the success of Bungie. So every little thing they even do a little bit wrong is going to be blown out of proportion. I've always been a fan of the Halo single player, but not really the multiplayer. People are like, well, how could you say the Halo multiplayer? I just never, no. Single player is always fun, but multiplayer I just never really did at all. But Halo 4 is going to be coming out. I'm looking forward to this. I'm probably not going to buy it, but I always say that, but I ended up buying it anyway. Generally, I'm interested in the storyline more so than I am the gameplay itself. So check it out, guys. This is over on xboxgaming.co.za. They got the details over there about Halo 4 launching worldwide November 6, 2012. Speaking of release date, Crysis 3. Crysis 3 has officially been announced. It's no longer a rumor, no longer murmurs in the corner. It has been officially announced. It's coming spring 2013. And some of the first artworks and screenshots have been released. These are very, very nice looking. As with every Crysis game, there's just insane visuals. Let's check out a few of these. Look at this. This is just insane. And it's probably rendered in-game. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, this is... When it's Crysis, you can pretty much believe all screenshots are in-game. So he's fighting against some mechs with the crossbow there. Yeah, I probably should open that in a new tab. Got this one and that one. A couple of environmental screenshots here. Very, very nice looking game. Showing off some of the Crytek engine. I'm not sure where this is. But Crysis has always been a beautiful game. Beautiful game. And this looks like some scenery. You can see the blades of grass and the lighting is very, very nice. So we'll probably get some more filler as to where this is and what's going on and why everything's destroyed and why there's flooding everywhere and why the buildings are all covered and why the earth looks like it's been destroyed several times over. Crysis 2 has officially been announced. It's coming out in spring of 2013. I don't think they've given an exact release date. I think they just said spring in their release, press release of 2013. Now it's going to have several different kinds of packs: Stalker Pack, Overkill Pack, and Predator Pack, which are basically going to be, you know how they do it. They always come up with these different bundles that you can get different things based on what you pre-order to just entice people to spend money early. And the Crysis 300 edition is available on Origin.com and other participating retailers for €50. I want to say euro. I always mess up that. Yeah, but yeah. Crysis 3. I bought 2 finally. You guys will be proud of me. I actually bought Crysis 2. It was on sale for what was it, $10? Yeah, it was like on sale for $10 at Amazon, and they gave me an Origin key, and I redeemed it. So I now own Crysis 2. Still haven't played it though, but I got it for $10, so I'm proud of myself. Golf clap. Check it out, guys, over on DSO Gaming. They got the details about Crysis 3 coming out spring 2013. And finally, we're going to end it on a very, very positive note. I want to congratulate Twitch.tv for signing an exclusive partnership with CBS Interactive, and this is going to be a big deal for eSports, because not only was Twitch.tv signed, it was also MLG and Nasal. were signed with CBS Interactive. So they're really going to be pumping a lot of their backing into, when I say backing, I'm thinking money, into esports and making it more of a, I don't want to say mainstream, but it's basically going to grow it out, make it a little bit better. If you don't know, I am heavily into esports. I watch a lot of it, namely the StarCraft tournaments and recently the League of Legends tournaments and Dota 2 stuff. And I don't pay attention too much to the shooters anymore. But I am getting into Tribes Ascend esports with the guys at High Res Studio. They, I play a lot of that game, so I'm into how the professional players are actually dealing with it. And they are signed with Nasal, the guys over with Tribes Ascend, so they're going to be seeing some of this. So congratulations are in order for these guys. It was a awesome deal to be signed that I'm very proud of them, because esports has had a bumpy road. It's been a lot of getting a lot of flack about how it's compared to real sports and how can video games be a sport. I don't even understand how you can consider sitting down and not exerting yourself physically as a sport. I mean, you got to be able to run around and do some stuff and go around and punch people in the face or even hit a golf ball or something, have some kind of a skill. Video games are just Pac-Man. It's just dots and ghosts. And you got these little kids who spend all their time playing video games instead of getting an education, and they call themselves esports and they want to get paid for it? What in the world has our world come to? I don't understand what is going on. This is just a little game, and they're trying to make it a sport. Next thing you know, we're going to see asteroids in the Olympics. Check it out, guys. It's over on Shoryuken.com. Shoryuken. CBS Interactive announces expansion into esports with partnerships with MLG and Twitch. And that concludes all the stories I have tonight. We're going to move on to user-submitted stories that you guys have submitted, so we can talk about that stuff right there.
Tune in to all things Bwana throughout the week on live.bwana.tv and on justin.tv/Bwana.
Okay.
Do you love game chat? Are you looking for a way to show your appreciation? Become a Bwana.tv premium subscriber. Check out the details at Bwana.tv/donate.
We're going to move on to our user-submitted stories. For episode 55, go over to our forums at Bwana.tv/forums. Bwana.tv/forums. You can sign up, communicate, contribute, and talk with our peoples over there. Like I said, we're going back as far as April 9, 2012 for some of these stories that you guys are going to submit. Let me do a quick refresh here. And I hit F5 and nothing's happening. I'm throwing F5s at the screen. There we go. All right, first story comes by way of Sarams. Prey 2 delayed. Prey 2 delayed due to quality issues. Bethesda pushes human head first-person shooter sequel beyond 2012, saying it has not progressed satisfactorily. Publisher to hold onto project until it meets standards. I just messed up my headset. Stop that. Stop that. Development of Prey 2, this is their quote, has not been canceled, but the game will not be released in 2012 as planned. The delay is due to the fact that the game has not progressed satisfactorily this past year, and this game does not currently meet our quality standards. Prey 2 has shown great promise, and we regret disappointing our fans. Is this Bethesda talking? We have made a substantial investment in game development to deliver the experience fans want. We're determined only to release to AAA fans that the fans rightfully expect and aren't willing to compromise our quality. Is this Bethesda? Talking about delaying a game due to quality. Now, Bethesda has released some terrible quality games in the past. So if Prey 2 didn't meet their standards, it must have been looking like stickmen with dots flying out of their face. It had to be bad. It must have crashed the entire floor of computers. My gracious goodness. Whoo, boy. But yeah, Prey 2 is delayed due to quality issues, and Bethesda says it's quality issues. You might want to believe them because there's stuff, blah blah blah. Thanks to Roms for that. We're gonna move on to the next one, Diablo 3 to get Starter Edition 2. Like WoW and StarCraft, it seems players will be able to sample a Blizzard game for free. Blah 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 blah. We've seen quality games like Tribesand and Super Monday Night Combat, which just came out. 2 titles that will have no doubt come with a price tag and are played in the past, released for free, despite all the blah blah blah. Blizzard has struck more traditional methods starting last year, however, blah blah blah. A starter edition of Diablo 3 popped up sometime overnight, allowing even those without beta access to play a portion of the game ahead of its launch May 15th. So yeah, this is kind of similar to what they did with WoW with the level 20 thing. And the starter edition of StarCraft, which only had the Terran that you can play in multiplayer, the first 4 missions, and yeah. So Diablo 3 is going to get sort of the same treatment. It's a good idea. We used to call back what? Let's rewind that. Back in my days, we called them demos. Today, you guys call them starter editions. We call them demos back in my day. Back in my day, we used to also have full multiplayer capability just with demos. They were just limited to what servers you could join because they were demo-only maps, but it still gave you a demo of the game, and the demo was a demo. Now you guys got this stuff called starter editions, which is all fancy schmancy and whatnot. But we had demos back in my day, boy. Them demos. They were demos. Diablo 3 is going to be getting a Starter Edition, or a demo back in my day. Thanks for the story, Sarams. Moving on. Razyami says God of War 4 is God of War Ascension. There were rumors surrounding this game and some teasers. And the official PlayStation product page for God of War Ascension now uses the tagline, "Before he was a god, he was a man." Boasts a spring 2013 release date. And Sony has come out and announced it after leaks. Amazon posted the game's box art and teaser trailer. This is what the box looks like. Time when Spite Madness, the God of War story millions have played, picks up after Kratos has pledged allegiance to Ares, had the blade of chaos burned into his flesh, and killed his wife and daughter after an Ares trick. Blah 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 blah. Here's PlayStation. So yeah, God of War Ascension has been announced. So if you guys are into God of War, you can look forward to this title. I don't think they have a. Okay, here we go. A spring 2013 release date. Like I said, spring and November are really when the big titles come out. So God of War is going to be coming out next year. Thanks for that story. Apple game console rumored for 2012 launch. Kinect-like video game console reportedly the reason for Apple CEO visiting Valve headquarters last week. Could integrate Valve Steam Box project. Now that's something that hurts the brain. If Valve and Apple collaborate on a console box, I don't think I'd be able to handle that. I honestly don't think I'd be able to handle that. I don't even know where to start with this rumor. It's too much. I can't wrap my head around it. Let's read the story. Tim Cook, which is Apple's CEO, visited the Bellevue, Washington headquarters last week, and Apple is preparing a TV set for release later this year that will come with an Apple-branded Kinect-like video game console. Neither Valve or Apple returned requests for comment as of press time. So is Apple working on a smart TV? Remains to be seen. But we have heard rumors and seen, you know, resumes and a lot more information that Valve is, you know, cracking away at some kind of a hardware solution, even if it is in the background and not intended to be released, according to them. They are working on it. Something to think about, but it hurts, man. That hurts the brain to think about Apple and Valve collaborating on a console with Kinect-like features. Ooh, that hurts. I don't want to think about that. I'm going back into my safety box. Thanks for the story, Raz Yemi. Ooh. Okay, Emeraldale. Korean court confirms guilty verdict in TERA criminal trial. I actually thought this was over. Multiple news sites are reporting a verdict in the long run of NCSoft versus Bluehost Studio litigation regards stolen Lineage 3 assets. According to the sites, the Korean Supreme Court has confirmed a guilty verdict in the criminal trial originally reached in has confirmed the verdict that was originally reached in 2009. The body also doled out tougher punishment in the form of prison time and probation for a former Lineage 3 department head and team manager. ThisIsGame.com points out that there could be more bad news coming from the team that turned Lineage 3 assets into TERA, and as the outcome of a $5.7 million civil suit is still pending. Blah, blah, blah. I actually thought this was over. Yeah, and this is what this first post said, that they're not guilty. We got some conflicting stories here. Yeah, I don't know what to believe. We'll find out sooner or later. Thanks for the story, Emeraldale. Exactly what it sounds like. Minecraft Dota. Yep. I saw this video. I was showing it to some people. It's pretty hilarious. And I'm probably going to throw it on the server. Minecraft Dota. If you don't know what Dota is, it stands for Defense of the Ancients. It's the quote-unquote MOBA genre. And people have created a Minecraft map, which gives you basically bases, towers, and lanes. And basically allows you to play a MOBA-style PvP on a Minecraft map. And from what I've been reading on the comments on the video and what people have been saying, it's actually pretty fun. Yeah, it's basically based around the League of Legends map layout, but it's got some Dota elements as well. You can jungle, you can go through various shops and buy weapon upgrades and stuff as you PvP, and you're gonna have creeps and stuff. It's just Minecraft. They put Dota in Minecraft. And a third-person / first-person Dota is not uncommon, so it really didn't strike me as strange, because you got games like Super Monday Night Combat, you got Smite coming from the guys at Hi-Res Studios, and you got all these other third-person / first-person MOBAs that are becoming more and more prevalent. No longer it's going to be the isometric 3D view of League of Legends and Dota 2 and Heroes of Newerth. So, makes sense to me. Minecraft Dota. I'm going to try it out one of these days. Okay. Thanks for the story, Emeraldale. New Humble Bundle, according to Katos. I thought there was a Humble Indie Bundle as well. This might be the same one. No, this is a different one. So here's a regular Humble Bundle. There's another Humble Bundle that's out. I think it's called Humble Indie Bundle too. Let me see. Humble Indie Bundle. I think that's what it is. No, it's just Humble Bundle. I thought there was like a Tetris-like game that was called, it's not in this list. And I saw it in the thing. But anyway, back to the story that you submitted. Botanicalula, Machinarium, which seems to be in every one of them, Samaros 2, Cookie, and Windowsill are available in this Humble Bundle. You pay what you want, it's typical stuff. And you can allocate how much you want to go to developers, various charities, and so on and so forth. Looks like they've chosen different charities. Usually it was Child's Play and EFF, but they have some other stuff here. So check this out, humblebundle.com, more cheap games, and donate more than a penny, guys. A lot of people just buy these for a penny, and they're like, oh, I got all these games for a penny. I showed you. And I'm just like, you dummy. Author sues Ubisoft over Assassin's copyright. Author sues Ubisoft over Assassin's copyright infringement. Amazon reviewers hit back hard. That's reported on Eurogamer. An author is suing Ubisoft for copyright infringement relating to the Assassin's Creed franchise. John Beiswinger claims that Ubisoft has lifted various aspects of the series plot from the 2003 novel. Ooh. The novel features a link device where ancestral memories can be accessed and relived by the user of the machine. According to his complaint, references to assassinations, a biosynchronizer, ancestral memories, and various bits of religious imagery, including the Garden of Eden and Jesus himself, are evidence that Ubisoft are in breach of copyright. Ooh, this doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good at all. Till a few days ago, Link had just one review in Amazon Marketplace. Since the complaint, 16 more have been posted, and the scores ain't pretty. So they're striking back at this guy for suing them. Come on, users. Don't do that. He may actually have a valid claim here. So check that out. Not good for Ubisoft, because if that's true, they may have to actually pay up for that. Okay. Quake 4 now for OS X. Took them long enough. Quake 4 is now up for download from Macs. It's been around the console block for almost a decade, and notice not an insult, blah, 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 blah. For $19.99 on the Mac App Store. I did buy this title, but I didn't play it a lot. It was actually, the multiplayer was actually fun. But you Mac guys can play it. Quake 4 is available. Activision announced 007 Legends for PS3 and 360. Ooh. Activision. Why you gotta take our titles and run them through the mud? Happy birthday, Mr. Bond. You get a new video game in honor of the 50th anniversary of the Bond franchise. Activision has announced that this fall they will be releasing 007 Legends. No screens or video has been made, but be a more best of Bond game where you play through various scenarios from the last 22 movies. Oof. That didn't sound all that's planned out. Let's just throw random scenes from all the movies. First of its kind Bond video game features an original overarching storyline tying together 6 classic Bond movies. I don't think this is gonna succeed. That sounds kind of dumb to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being stupid. That sounds kind of dumb to me. To just tie all the movies into one game seems like be confusing. But anyway, they're gonna come out with it. Thanks for the start. All right, Christian Nomel, yell at your screen. Skyrim gets Kinect support. And this is gonna be hilarious to watch as people. I hope people stream this on Twitch. Screaming that dragon shout at their screen, and it will actually do a dragon shout. Oh man, I'm kind of scared to watch this video, but yes, Skyrim is getting Kinect support. And people are going to be screaming at their TVs. You know it. You know it. Thanks for the story, Christian. But that's gonna be, I'm telling you, it's gonna be hilarious to watch. It's gonna be hilarious. All right, Mega KB with that awesome. Oh my goodness. For those that still play the game, Battlelog has come to iOS. So finally, when the game was announced, they showed screenshots of Battlelog for your phone, that you could check your stats and your achievements and stuff from your phone, and everybody was clamoring for it, and it's just come out. What, 6 months after the game is out? So it took them long. I don't know what took them so long to do this. But it is finally out. EA Battlelog for iOS. I think it is free. Yeah, it is free. You can download it for free. Don't know about an Android counterpart, but it is available for iOS. Took them a long time to do that. Thanks for that story, Mega KB. Okay, Sony patents new controller from Mr. Awesome. Because you're awesome. Sony patents bizarre looking... What the what is what? I What is this? A bizarrely shaped controller with the move wand attached. Oh, it gets better. Oh. Oh, what are you doing, sir? What are you doing with your face? I can see it happening. It's not official yet, but yeah, Sony's trying out new things. Just because they patent it doesn't mean they come out with it. It's part of the development process. Let's hope they don't come out with it. Thanks for that story, Mr. Awesome. DDR Classroom Edition. What? DDR, you're not supposed to be in a classroom. You're a dancing game. You don't dance in the classroom. You learn. Konami announces Dance Dance Revolution Classroom Edition in collaboration with leading organizations. Dance Dance Revolution Classroom Edition is a logical and groundbreaking next step for Dance Dance Revolution. I don't agree with this. Over the past few years, we've created powerful alliances to get our existing Dance Dance Revolution. They don't like space bars in this. Into hundreds of physical education class. Oh, it's PE. Why did you say so? It makes perfect sense now. I'm like the classroom. But if you're talking about gym, if you're talking about PE, yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, I can get on board with this. And they got the Diabetes Association to account for early obesity and stuff like that. The Nutrition Foundation. Yeah, I'm all for it. Go for it. Good stuff. All right. I mean, they threw me off when they said classroom because I'm thinking you're going to be dancing while you're listening to history. What year was that, Jimmy? That was 1942. That messed up my brain. But PE makes sense. Thanks for that story, Mr. Awesome. And let's see how many more we got. Oh, I think that's all the stories we have. And guess what time it is, y'all? Guess what time it is? It's title time. Title time is when you guys come up with snazzy titles. These snazzy titles will be voted upon based on their snazziness, based on their agility, their dexterity, and their strength and intelligence. They're going to smite thee upon thine head with game chat accolades. Let's do it. Okay, let's see here. What we got? Game chat with Bwana, the postponed edition. Sony make change. It's dance time. Dance, fools. Apple Life 3. Sony sucks. Assassin's Creed 3 delayed? Let's go read books. The Sony Crysis is terrible. Sony sells TVs. Valve and Apple connects. Microsoft MOBA, go! I keep screaming at the screen. March of the Sales drops. Sony cuts designers and creates a monstrosity. Let the second Guild War commence on April 27th. It's all about the hats. Crysis in Sony land. Want me some MMO hats? Fos Rude died the screen. Start the demo. Halo 4 Thanksgiving. The bundle is humble. Sony new controller. Spider with 2 legs. Crysis, more like smile, bro. I see more hats. Delayed Prey, not yay. Open the Valve in the Apple Steam box. A Sony Crysis. Valve thinks different with Apple? Back in my day, demos demonstrated. Skyrim's the limit. Dance lessons. Okay. You guys did well. It was a hard week. Let's find some of these titles here. That's pretty witty. Might do 4 because I don't want to put Sony all over the place. Let's see. I'm gonna put these in parentheses. That way, I always get to the end and I don't know who did the title. I'm like, congratulations to somebody who did it. All right, I'm looking for one more. Actually, I think that's good. All right, we're gonna go with these 3 titles. B George is gonna set up the poll, and once he gets it there, we're going to vote on these 3. All right, I'm gonna paste them in the chat so those of you who can't see will know. Go ahead and start voting if you know which one you want to vote for. These are the titles for title time for this week. Go, go, go. Pretty fun. Not a lot of stories to go from. We're gonna vote on the titles. We're gonna vote. We're gonna vote. We're gonna vote. Yeah, one of the drawbacks of doing this is that you guys are gonna hate on the Nicholas Fun stuff because he wins a lot. So it's like, I'm gonna pick anything that's not Nicholas Fun stuff because he's not fun to me. His stuff's not fun. His stuff's unfun. Should call himself Nicholas Unfun Stuff. The haterade flows. Vote, 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 vote. We're winding down. Let's do that 10 more seconds thing right now. 10 more seconds. Let's see who the winner is. And the winner is 3. It's all about the hats. Congratulations to JR Blaze. You are the winner of Title Time for episode 55 Game Chat with Bwana. And we here at Game Chat with Bwana don't actually have physical prizes, JR Blaze. We have what's called bragging rights, or what we call them Game Chat accolades. I know it's been a while since you've been in Title Time and won, JR Blaze, so this may be a new thing to you. But take those Game Chat accolades and hold them closely to your bosom and say, oh yes, I shall cherish this entire week Well, I shall tell all my friends and family that I have won Game Chat with Bwana episode 55 title time on live.bwana.tv, because that's where my friends are. And they'll look at you and they'll go, JR Blaze. They won't call you JR Blaze because they'll call you by your real name, but I'm just saying JR Blaze. They'll say, JR Blaze, that's awesome. Your face is glowing with Game Chat accolades, and I don't even know what Game Chat accolades are, but I know your face is glowing with them. You go, ha 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 ha. It's a common thing with Game Chat with Bwana. Congratulations, JR Blaze. You are the winner of Game Chat with Bwana title time. The title will be, it's all about the hats. And that concludes episode 55 of Game Chat with Bwana. I want to thank everybody for coming by. We're here at live.bwana.tv. We typically do this Monday night, but we had to postpone Monday's show, and we're doing a special edition this Thursday night. So I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Those of you who are following me on Twitter, you knew about it. Those of you who are on twitter.com/Bwana, those of you who are on my forum at bwana.tv/forum, you knew about it because I posted a thread there as well. So I communicated it to my channels, and those of you who knew. Those of you who follow my channel on Twitch also knew as well. So go ahead and do those things if you want to be kept in the know of all the changes and all the stuff that I'm doing. Follow me at Twitter, twitter.com/Bwana. I'm also on Google Plus at Bwana McCall. And we have a subreddit at reddit.com/rbwanatv where we post some stuff sometimes. It's not that active, but hey, we're just on Reddit just for you guys. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. We're going to be doing I want to make a special announcement. We're going to be doing another giveaway this month for our premium subscribers. Something happened that came up. I'm not going to go into detail with the last giveaway. So we're going to be doing another one for all of our premium subscribers. And if you are a premium subscriber, I want to thank you again. And those of you with cakes next to your name in chat, those are the premium guys. So you should look to them and say, hey, you're shining with cakeness, you cakey. You got cake all over your face. And they'll go, I know. It's pretty fun. But those guys are eligible for our monthly giveaways that we have for premium users. They donate $5 a month. Really, really appreciate your support. So that concludes episode 55 Game Chat with Bwana. It's all about the hats. It's all about the hats, folks. And I will see you all next week. We should be, I don't think anything's coming up this. Yes, we should be doing the show on Monday unless something comes up at the last minute. And follow me on Twitter and I'll let you know. So we'll see you all next week. Everybody have a great time, great week. Take care. Bye-bye. Click.